In just a moment, there's a one-of-a-kind resort in our listening area where people like Wyatt Earp and Albert Einstein stayed at. We're talking the historic Highland Springs Resort in Cherry Valley, and we're going to talk live with Mike Ham, Vice President of Highland Springs Resort, and his executive chef, Stefan Weck. Nick.
I'll tell you what I want to give you, Santa.
What else?
I mean, Santa Allen wants to give Highland Springs Resort to everybody.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
I'll tell you, I had the pleasure of coming 2 times, both times at night, so I haven't seen the daytime property, but if it's anything like the dinner and the experience I had, it's the most incredible experience in the world. And with us is the Vice President of Highland Springs Resort, Mike Ham, and Chef Stefan Weck. How you doing?
Good.
Mike. This has been a property that's been here for a little bit, and why don't you talk a little bit about the history about it?
Sure. I'll be glad to. First of all, thank you for having us.
Our pleasure.
The resort itself is actually the first historical landmark designated by the County of Riverside. It was established in 1884, so it's been over 100 years now, and it was originally a stagecoach stop for people coming from Arizona to mine gold. There's definitely a lot of history to it, and it's something that we really try to convey to our guests. Throughout the 20th century, in the 20s, the ownership turned over to a gentleman named Fred Hirsch. He transformed the resort into a health resort where people who had illness or really tried to take care of their health, they would come and enjoy several different ways to do that. Now, in mid part of the century, the ownership changed again to the Rosine family, and for the better part of 40 years, they made the resort like a family getaway, kind of like the Catskills of the West. Mm-hmm. So we still have a lot of the families that came during that time come visiting, and they say,
wow,
you know, we had our first kiss here, and we met our future husband or wife here at that time. So there's definitely this wonderful, enriching aspect to the resort that we can be proud to share with our guests.
Now, the resort itself is how many acres?
It's 2,400 acres. Most people are actually very surprised by the size of it. But the main thing for us, especially the vision that we have for that 2,400 acres, is to build it out organically.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have a couple of unique things about it. One is the oak tree. It's 1,100 years old. It's a grand black oak. And that's kind of a one-of-a-kind thing. I mean, 1,100 years old. That's amazing.
1,100 years old? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Then you've got the lavender farm and a beautiful field of lavender, and you could talk about that a little bit.
Sure. First of all, the oak, it's actually the California coastal oak. And we had an expert come out and, test it out. And they told us it was between 1,000 and 1,100 years. So sometimes you'll hear 1,000, some people think 1,100 sounds better, but at any rate, the oak tree is really one of our signature items on our property, and it's been witness to many things. And we named our award-winning restaurant after it, the Grand Oak Steakhouse and Bar, and it's just a majestic sight to see. So a lot of people just come just to see that.
Again, you have lavender farms?
Yes, we are the largest certified organic lavender farm in Southern California. We have about 30 acres spread out in 3 different fields. And because we have this amount of lavender, we're able to create organic products like shampoo, lotions. And I'm sure a lot of people have heard about our Lavender Festival we hold each year in June. And that's pretty much our signature event for the resort as well.
Mm-hmm. We're talking with Mike Ham, who's Vice President of Highland Springs Resort in Cherry Valley, and his executive chef, Stefan Weck, is with us as well. An amazing place, Highland Springs Resort in Cherry Valley.
Now, another thing about your resort is it's actual resort where you can stay. Not just, we talked about things you can see, but what about staying there? And now let's talk about, you have cottages and you also have hotel rooms.
Sure. A lot of people just associate the resort with the farm, the festival, or the restaurant, but we actually do have 88 hotel rooms.
88, okay.
Yeah. And we have a conference center as well, so we hold group conferences. We renovated about 56 of the rooms in the last couple of years, and we did it all with a LEED oriented mind. LEED meaning sustainable, using non-toxic paints, and trying to model responsible renovation and alternative ways to show healthy practice.
And you have cottages too.
We have cottages that were built about 80, 90 years ago.
Wow.
Very rustic, and they hold a lot of character. and very affordable. Our rates start from $79 a night. So.
When I saw that, I was like, wow, what a deal.
I'm looking at some pictures here online, and I can't believe how beautiful the grounds are at Highland Springs Resort.
Yeah, we take a lot of effort into keeping the grounds clean, but more importantly, we don't use any pesticides or fertilizers that can harm any of the guests or the animals on property. So we really try to model responsible.
Your website is hsresort.com. HS, like Highland Springs Resort.com. And what's really neat about it is going around and seeing the old photographs. To me, it's just the history behind it. And you got a beautiful swimming pool there. And when you see the people being served, and all these old timers, all these old time pictures are just gorgeous. And you're lucky to work there.
We are.
And then another remarkable, besides just the amenities and everything, is the restaurant. And Chef Stefan Wick is with us, and this restaurant's amazing. I happened to be there twice for 2 dinners, and both times. I've never had a more incredible dining experience. Hopefully, folks, you've had an experience where you've eaten somewhere and you walk out of a restaurant going, wow. And it's just, that's all you can say all the way home is, wow. I mean, that's what this was. And now, Chef, how long have you been at the resort?
Thank you for the compliment. I'm working there for a little bit over a year.
Okay.
Mike and Tina asked me to come over, so I arrived last year in September.
Uh-huh.
And then from there we start building it up, rearranging a little bit the structure of the restaurant, the ideas about the food, increasing more and more organic ingredients, talking to the local farmers, increasing this as well on our menu. We are on the way to start growing more and more produce on our property.
And also cows and animals.
Cows and animals.
For cheese.
From the cows, right now we're experimenting a little bit with cheese in the background.
That's neat.
We got some chickens, so we want to grow our chickens and get eggs from it.
That's so great.
That sounds great.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Chef, let me hold you off real quick, and we want to carry you over to the next segment. So you and Mike can stay here a little bit. And again, in the mood of great food, it's not Mexican food, it's world cuisine, but the Highland Springs Resort, we're here with Chef Stefan Wick and also Mike Ham, who's the vice president. And Mike Ham, again, a lucky guy, a lucky person who's vice president of this wonderful resort, the Highland Springs Resort in Cherry Valley. So it's right near us, folks. And it's a world-class resort as far as I'm concerned. It may not be the fanciest, but it's the best food you'll find anywhere, and the resort itself is gorgeous, and 2,400 acres, and it's pretty amazing. Now, for the holidays, well, before we get to that, now you mentioned you have a conference center, so for small businesses, it's perfect for them.
Yes, I mean the weekends primarily are taken up with group reservations, businesses, churches, nonprofits, and we hold conference groups up to about 300 people.
Wow. And then weddings, beautiful grounds for weddings.
Weddings, they're becoming very popular. Every single day we get several inquiries. I would suggest anyone interested in a wedding, go to our website, take a look at the pictures, and then just call us for a tour.
And the website is hsharrysamresort.com. That's hsresort.com. So, and again, there's the food. I love food. And, with us is Master Chef, I'm telling you, as far as I'm concerned, Executive Chef Stefan Wick. And now your foods represent your philosophy of cooking and your experiences. And let's talk a little bit about it in terms of your starting.
Okay, I'm in the industry about 16 years now. I learned cooking in Germany, then I went to Spain. Most of my experience I earned in Spain. I lived there over 7 years. So I'm really close and familiar with Mediterranean cuisine. And I really appreciate Mediterranean flavors, the freshness of the food, the all richness of the different flavors. And this is something what I try to represent in the restaurant and give as well to our customers. And then, of course, the educational part as well. We have once a month a cooking class. And then it's something when I want to show what are we doing in an easy way that everybody really can cook similar food at home. Yeah.
I also worked in New York, so you have experience working at some of the higher end restaurants there, and you have you worked at Michelin rated restaurants.
Yes,
which is a real honor because those are quite restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is for every chef something he should see. I mean, it's nice to see the sky, and then of course like the high level of the cuisine. But what I want to do is take like all my experience from the high-end cuisine or high-end restaurants and bring it like on a level for like everybody, that everybody can enjoy and can join us as well in this experience I had in the past.
Chef, I was going to ask you, if I had never been to Highland Springs Resort in Cherry Valley, what's the one thing on the menu you'd recommend I must try if I'd never been?
Now, the restaurant, I was supposed to say, the restaurant is the Grand Oak Steakhouse and Bar.
Right.
I couldn't tell you one dish. I probably would say like all of them.
Okay.
Because
That's I like it.
I'm not really a person who sticks like to one type of cuisine. I would say it's more like to my mood. I mean, one day I feel really like a braised dish, so I really can recommend our bœuf bourguignon, our lamb shank. I know Allen Borgen really enjoyed it.
Oh,
so that makes me actually really happy that he enjoys or that he sympathizes with my type of cuisine, and it's really an honor for us, this recognition, and yeah, that's all about it.
Well, the menu, Jeff, is they have about 4 or 5 different steaks. They have the Grand Oak ribeye. They have the filet. They have a petite filet. They have the Côte de Boeuf, which is a double ribeye with a bone in 32 ounces.
Oh, man.
And it comes with sides, so it's not like a la carte like some others. Prices range anywhere from $12 to $32, which is amazing. And you can't get a steak for $12.
No,
just on those steaks.
Those are great prices.
But the entrees, now those are on the menu all the time. But the entrees, beef bourguignon, I mean, a classic French dish done the classic French way. I've had it before. This was amazing. They had the Moroccan tagine style braised lamb shank. That's what I had. That is delicious, and it had a bean tomato stew, salt cured lemon, so you got the nice little lemon overtones of it. Grilled salmon, grilled Oregon ocean trout. It was amazing. It looked like salmon, beautiful. Skin was crispy on the outside, but when you eat it, the first bite of it, it's like the delicate trout. You've had trout before,
oh my goodness, yeah,
but it looks just like salmon. Beautiful piece of fish,
goodness.
and. Again, it comes with a smoked pearl barley risotto, honey candied beets, and endive. I mean, amazing. Then you had the marble duck in two, and if you like duck, oh man, crispy. They had eucalyptus glazed breast, chicken or duck breast. Then you had confit leg, and they had an unbelievable turnip puree, rutabaga, and then caramelized Brussels sprouts. Of all things, caramelized Brussels sprouts. So those that don't even like Brussels sprouts will love this. I mean, the sweetness of it and everything.
Wow.
When you leave here, your senses are all over the place. I mean, your whole mouth jumps for joy. It's
oh,
just,
my
oh boy,
goodness.
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Do you ever go to a candy store or like, oh boy, oh boy?
Oh, and your mouth starts to salivate before you get in.
That's it.
Sure.
But you leave there in just amazement and wonderment. Again, they have the Grand Oak burger, nice juicy 33-pound burger. I mean, everything's made fresh there on the grounds. They don't take shortcuts. And Chef, you do change your menu about how often, you say?
I would say every 4 to 6 weeks.
Really? Okay.
We cook pretty seasonal, and we try to use as much from local farmers as we can find. So there is the need to change as often, but I think it's as well important behind the scenes, like for our crew. I mean, if you cook too long the same food, it gets boring
right
after a while. And I mean, the people who work with us, I think I have to teach them too. I have to show them, from my experience, that they enjoy working for us, with us, and learning and growing. And then, of course, if they feel motivated, then you can taste it as well in the food. I mean, if you love, what
you want to do it too.
Then you can taste this in the food.
Well, you can see the twinkle in your eye. You're very passionate. You're a young chef who is way beyond their years. I mean, you're really a remarkable chef, and I really mean that. And for those listening, this is without a doubt the most memorable dining experience I've ever had. I've eaten there twice, and both times I've left there in awe. And I know you can't get a better experience anywhere in the Inland Empire. So, again, it's called the Grand Oak Steakhouse and Grill. It's at the Highland Springs Resort. Just go to hsresort.com. Don't get directions. It's a little hard to find. They'll work with you on that. But it's definitely well worth it. And hey, thank you so much for joining us. Continued success.
Yes.
So call in if you guys want looking for a place to go that's different and close.